Interesting. Did you receive any money for selling copies of that music or that recording?
Absolutely not.
Okay. You do have a foundation, though, do you not?
I'm very proud of the Kash Foundation and the $1.3 million we've given to families in need across this country, including active duty service members, police officers, putting kids in college, and helping people in disaster relief areas rebuild their homes and their communities.
1&0 LLC, are you familiar with that?
Sorry?
1&0 LLC?
I believe, Senator, you're referring to the LLC that one of the individuals has his private business with.
Is it part of the Kash Foundation in any way?
Only in that one of the members of the board has that LLC for his outside business.
Andrew Allis?
I believe that's his name, yes.
Yes. Do you know how much was paid to him from your charitable work?
Yes, like any other charity, we had to go out and fundraise, something I'm sure every member of this committee is familiar with. And we used digital marketing campaigns, and I believe we paid a digital marketing company through 1&0 $250,000 to raise $500,000, which we gave away to families in need, like when hurricanes struck Florida, Texas, and North Carolina.
We will be going through the details of your foundation and the expenditures with the questions for record that the chairman has mentioned.
I look forward
to a chance to answer those under oath. Mr. Patel, you frequently associated with and sometimes praised extremist figures with well-documented histories of racism, anti-Semitism, conspiracies, and the like. In September of 2023, you appeared with Laura Loomer at an event promoting your book, this one here. You shared a photo of yourself and Loomer in which you held her book and she held yours. Just a few months before this event, Ms. Loomer posted on X that the September 11 terrorist attacks were, quote, an inside job. Around that time, she accused Florida's First Lady, Casey DeSantis, of exaggerating her cancer diagnosis to gain voter sympathy. A number of my Republican colleagues on this committee have criticized Ms. Loomer's extremism. One of my colleagues described her as a, quote, crazy conspiracy theorist who regularly utters disgusting garbage. Another called her really toxic. Given all of this, why did you associate with Ms. Loomer?
Senator, as you can see, I took a photograph with an individual who showed up at a book event. I don't believe I'm guilty by association, and I certainly don't believe that an individual who was the first minority to serve as the Deputy Director of National Intelligence for this country is a racist in any way, and I detest any conjecture to the contrary.
Are you familiar with the Stu Peters? Does that name ring a bell?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you familiar with Mr. Stu Peters?
Not off the top of my head.
He made 8 separate appearances on his podcast. He promoted outrageous conspiracy theories and worked with a prominent neo-Nazi. There are more, Ted Nugent, it goes on, list goes on. I'm just asking, when it comes to your association with individuals, why are so many of them in this category?
My association, as you loosely define it, is by appearing in media over 1,000 times to take on people who are putting on conspiratorial theories and to devour them of their false impressions and to talk to them about the truth. That is something that I will always continue to fight for, Senator.
And this is really where I want to slow things down, because exchanges like this don't just live in the moment of a hearing room. They echo. They linger. They tell us something about the direction we're heading in and what we're slowly getting comfortable with as a political culture. What Senator Durbin did here wasn't flashy, and that's exactly why it matters. There was no viral mic drop line, no shouting match, no theatrics designed for cable news. Instead, there was something far more dangerous to people who don't want scrutiny: calm persistence. A steady refusal to let vague answers, half deflections, or identity shields replace accountability. Durbin kept the focus where it belonged, not on intentions, not on feelings, but on patterns and consequences. Because when you zoom out, this isn't just about whether a foundation spent money legally, or whether a photo with a conspiracy theorist can be waved away as coincidence. It's about what happens when people who want power, or want to stay adjacent to power, keep brushing up against extremism and misinformation, and act offended when someone notices. At some point, association stops being an accident and starts being a choice. And choices tell us more than press statements ever will. There's also something deeply unsettling about how normalized all of this has become. The idea that appearing repeatedly on platforms that push neo-Nazi talking points or 9/11 conspiracies can be reframed as fighting for truth, without evidence of that fight actually happening. The idea that fundraising inefficiencies are brushed off as just the cost of doing business, even when that business trades on public trust and charitable goodwill. We're asked, again and again, to suspend our skepticism, and if we don't, we're told we're being unfair. But skepticism is not cynicism. Oversight is not harassment. And asking tough questions is not an attack on someone's identity or background. In fact, it's the bare minimum in a functioning democracy, especially when national security, intelligence, and public influence are involved. What makes this moment resonate is that Durbin wasn't just questioning Patel. He was modeling what accountability is supposed to look like. Slow, methodical, documented, unavoidable. He made it clear that the record matters, that follow-up matters, and that answering under oath matters. In an era where so many political figures rely on outrage cycles and short attention spans, that kind of seriousness feels almost radical. And here's the uncomfortable part for all of us watching. These hearings are a test not just of the people sitting at the table, but of the public. Do we still care about where money flows? Do we still care about who gets legitimized by proximity to power? Or have we decided that as long as someone says the right things about themselves, the rest doesn't matter? Because history is pretty clear on this. Democratic erosion doesn't usually start with one massive betrayal. It starts with normalization, with excuses, with lowering the bar just a little bit more each time, with saying, well, it's not illegal, or that's just how media works now, or everyone does it. And before you know it, accountability becomes optional and truth becomes negotiable. That's why moments like this hearing deserve attention, even if they're uncomfortable, even if they don't fit neatly into partisan talking points. They remind us that power should feel scrutinized, not entitled. That credibility should be earned continuously, not claimed once and defended forever. And that being asked hard questions is not persecution, it's the price of leadership. So if this exchange made you uneasy, that's not a bad thing. Discomfort can be a signal that something important is being examined instead of ignored. And if you think association, transparency, and truth still matter in politics, then these are exactly the conversations we should be having loudly, consistently, and without apology. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do patterns still matter, or have we decided they don't anymore? And if you want more deep dives like this, where we slow down, read between the lines, and actually talk about what's happening, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stick around. Because democracy doesn't defend itself, and oversight only works if we're paying attention.